we're looking forward to hearing about the program, and thank you, both of you, for joining. So, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I can jump right into it. Are we waiting for anyone else, or?
Well, it's 9 o'clock, and I know you have to leave right at 10. So why
Yeah,
don't we start, and then people can just join.
sure, no
Okay.
problem. Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much, Helen, for asking me to join again. And we have Jathorsan here, who's a participant in the summer company program, who'll talk afterwards. Again, my name is Vivian Ho Tam. I'm a small business consultant at the York Small Business Enterprise Center. We're part of York Region Economic Strategy division. And what we do is that we promote small business. We help with small businesses. I went through this before, but I think I'll go through the slides again because this is always a good refresher. This is what I have for today, just lay out on my slides, and I'll have Jathorsan talk about his afterwards. It's his experience, his business, his experience as a mentee, and what he's learned. And then he'll share slides from Trish, which was his mentor over the summer.
Can I just interrupt? I just want
Yeah.
to say something, that this is perfect timing, because last time 2 weeks ago, we had Darlene Rupke, and
Yes.
It was really nice to see someone who had really experienced what you guys can do. And I think that really makes these things hit home more. So I hope everyone realizes that one of our members has really benefited from this. And so we'll listen closely today.
Yeah. I know Darlene's one of my clients, so it was great that she was able to speak to the Starter Company Plus program. And today I'm just going to talk about the Summer Company program. And as you guys all know, we do way more than just programming. I just like to touch on it. This is more geared towards youth. So I'll just, but in regards to this, it's good for anyone to know, just in case there's youth within your network, or if you're interested in being involved and being a mentor as well, just go full circle about giving back as well. So there are opportunities for that. We're always looking for mentors in different areas and different fields of experience as well, just because there's always a lot to learn, and a lot to learn from each other as well. So I'm just going to go talk about a little bit of our office again. I know you may have heard this, but it's just always good refresher, just in case someone forgot, or this is the first time they're seeing these sets of slides. Like I mentioned, our office, the York Small Business Enterprise Center, also known as YSPEC, is a business resource center. We're located on the ground floor of the new building right at Yonge and Eagle. Now it's 17150 Yonge Street. We moved over during the COVID pandemic, but we're not fully in the office yet. We're still working remotely from home, as you can see. But our office is part of the economic strategy branch as part of York Region. I'm a York Region staff, and the office is partially funded by and in partnership with the province of Ontario's Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. So a lot of the programming that we deliver is on behalf of the province, and we're part of a network of small business enterprise centers. So there's about, I think, 47, and then there's a few satellite offices. So in total, about 57 across the province, and there's one in each community, or try to cover a good area of a community. And that's why sometimes if somebody reach out to us and they're not within our community, we direct them to the proper office. In terms of our office, our area is the northern 6 municipalities. So sorry, I should probably go back here, but it's the northern 6 municipalities of York Region. So Newmarket, Aurora, King, East Gwillimbury, Wiltshire, Stouffville, and Georgina. So I'm happy here to target and talk to King Township businesses and just let people know of what we do. So in terms of our service, like I said earlier, we cover a lot of different services and programmings, but anyone can access our service as long as they're within our office area, mandated area by the province. So we offer group consultations, one-on-one consultations. We even offer market research guidance with Environics. Jathorsan knew about that. We mentioned that to the summer company students. With this, it's not a magical tool, but with the Environics and Vision platform, it allows businesses to tap into a platform. We run all the reports, but if you're interested in knowing a certain hyperlocal demographic information, especially if you have like a physical location, so like Teresa, like your farm, for example, and you want to know certain people living in certain areas, you can definitely tap into that, and you know, maybe it'll help with your marketing and whatnot. Because with this market research, people change, we all grow older and people move as well, so we have that guidance there as well. But that's just one of the unique tools that we offer through our office. We also offer business plan reviews. So we don't write business plans per se, but if you complete a business plan or have a business plan about like 75% completed, we do reviews. Jathorsan also experienced that as a summer company student. When he went through the application process, we did business plan reviews with the students as well, just to ask them hard questions and questions that they may have not thought about, to make sure that their business plan is well thought out. And then outside of those services, we also have seminars and workshops. We do hire subject matter expertise to deliver certain topics as well. And myself and my colleagues sometimes deliver some of the topics. And then finally, we deliver programs on behalf of the province. So you heard Darlene talk about Starter Company Plus, and today we're going to talk about Summer Company, which is geared towards youth, like I mentioned earlier. So a little bit, this is just like an overview of Summer Company. So each summer we run this program. Unfortunately, we didn't deliver it last year just because of COVID and how things change really quickly. But we were able to run it this year, and we were able to put that time together and making sure that we had a really good program as we delivered before. Unfortunately, this year was all virtual, but the program is geared toward young people between the ages of 15 and 29 interested in entrepreneurship, want to foster those skills, and then we deliver it on behalf of the province. You get training, mentorship, and then there is also a grant of up to $3,000 to help them with startup costs as well. So how it works, a student would have to start a new business over the summer. So it can be anything as long as it's a new business, haven't registered yet. It could be something that they've had interest or a hobby. I see a lot of that as well. And then they can submit an application inquiry that they're interested, and then through that, they'll start developing a business plan, with a startup budget, as well as a cash flow. So those 3 items that's needed, and they submit it to our office. We do a review. There's an interview process, and then if they're accepted, they get to experience the training as well as the mentorship. And through that, they learn skills. So we bring in, again, subject matter expertise to foster those skills, such as sales, marketing, invoicing, bookkeeping, customer relationship management, and many, many more. And then this year, what we tried to do was we tried to offer one-on-one mentorship as well as a group component of mentorship, just because in the past we've always been in person, and there's like a lot of chit chat and stuff like that, which is difficult in a virtual platform. So this year we try to have those, and then a component of training as well. We kept those training more frequent but shorter. So it depends. We trying to capture, and Jathorsan can share his experience in regards to that. But it was trying to make sure that we try to capture people's attention in a good amount of time, because there's a lot of fatigue with virtual learning and stuff like that during COVID as well. So and then that's how the program kind of works throughout the summer. In terms of the grant, this grant is distributed in 2 halves. So at the beginning of the summer, upon approval, they get $1,500. And then upon completion of the program, which means completing all the training, running the business, the mentorship, and in terms of running the business, there's set hours that we do ask. It's 280 hours by the end of the summer, or 420. So it's about 35 hours a week times 8 weeks or 12 weeks. And then once upon completing, they get the other half of up to $1,500. They do have to produce receipts in terms of how the money was spent, because of it is taxpayers' dollars. This is also to remind them about being vigilant about, making sure, how do I spend the money, auditing time, they still have to file taxes and everything. So those are skills that is developed throughout the summer. So then that way they can apply and use that throughout their, the rest of our lives, or continue running their business with those skills as well. So I kind of mentioned a lot of these things already. So what participants receive, they get a grant up to $3,000. These are government provincial grants. They get hands-on trainings and skills development, and then they get ongoing coaching and guidance. And some of it is through the group settings, the group mentorings that we have. So we kind of call them mastermind circles this year. And then there's some outside the quote unquote classroom with the one-on-one with and Jathorsan and Trish were matched together, and they can share that experience. And that's the mentoring to run the business throughout the summer. And we're here as program providers as well to help with that. So I always touch base with the students as well as reaching out to students. I do emails, phone calls to touch base, and then throughout meetings as well. And then we also schedule some meetings to go over receipts as well. So that's what they get. So a lot of hand holding throughout the summer. In terms of eligibility, so just for everyone to be aware of, and if you know any youth, you never know, because I always find that a lot of students who go through the program, either, you know, some of them is just truly interest, or some of them, they see their parents or somebody running a business, a relative, a friend, or family friend, and they're interested as well because they see that. And there's a lot of interest going into entrepreneurship. And to be honest, our economy is, you know, thriving because of small business as well. So I like to mention it and let people know. So in terms of eligibility, a student does have to be in high school, college, or university within Ontario. They live in Ontario, Canadian citizen or permanent resident, between the ages of 15 and 29. So if they're under 18, there is a legal agreement that they have to sign, and a parent will have to co-sign, be like a guarantor if they're under 18. Otherwise, a student over 18 and older, they would go through that. And I just want to share, and through that as well, because it was a legal document, we made sure that we spent some time with the students in terms of, hey, this is what you're signing. When you sign, you want to make sure you read things. Again, it's skills development. It's like buying a car. Once you sign on the dotted line, it's yours. There's no way of backing out, right? So it's one of those things we take our time to go through with the student, that you are signing a legal agreement. So that's something that's part of the programming, that they're saying, yes, I agree to all these. Next thing is that they haven't ran this business yet, so it's not a registered business. If they test market and stuff like that, it's not a big deal, but most importantly, it's not something that's pre-existing. And then they can work, but we ask that they don't work more than 12 hours or go to school more than 12 hours a week outside the program, just because the main focus is the business in this programming and the project, we call it, essentially as well. So no more than 12 hours. It is an honor system, but it's just to remind them that it's time management. And then most importantly, at the end of summer, they were going back to school. So they would have to provide proof that going back to school, whether it be tuition, timetable, whatnot. There is a form that they do sign. And with that, that can be full-time, part-time. It could be a number of different ways to say you're going back to school. So it's pretty open. It doesn't have to be full-time back at school, but it's just to show that you are going back to school. And then more information about the programming can be found on our website. That link right there, actually, if you go all the way to the bottom, you'll see the profiles of all the students, as well as Jathorsan, and he's on there as well with his smiles. That was a wonderful picture. And then there's little descriptions of what they do about their business as well, if you're interested in seeing the rest of the cohort. But you get to learn more about Jathorsan and his business and his experience. And there's some slides from Trish as well to share about their mentor-mentee relationship as well. So that's our contact information. So I hope that helps. If you're interested in being a mentor, please reach out. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so then Jathorsan can share his and talk about his experience as well.
Great. Thanks, Vivian. Can everyone see my screen fine? I'll make it bigger and see if that works out. Sometimes it's a bit finicky. Present. All good? Okay, great. Assuming it's all good. Okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
Perfect. So hi, everyone. So I'll be talking about my company today. So a bit of introduction about myself is, hi, my name is Jathorsan. I live in King City, right across the King GO station. So that's a bit of context where I am in our lovely rural urban mix of our township. I finished my undergraduate degree at Queen's University in International Development and French. right before I commenced the summer company program. So it was a nice break between my undergraduate education and my grad education, which will be starting in the fall 2021 in international affairs at Carleton. And in my free time in university, I liked helping out with charities and NGOs, and I loved just working in the community. Since Kingston was the home for Queen's University, I did a lot of work with volunteering in their shelters over there, like Almost Home, and there was a lot of shelters in Kingston which I was involved of, and that kind of helped me to inspire me to create a business around that as well. Let me see if I missed a slide. Okay. So what is my business? So my business is called Chateau Designs. Basically, the lovely bird on your right is my logo. Thought I should be abstract a bit, but basically, Chateau Designs focuses on, it's a social media agency business that focuses on providing website creations, social media product creations, sponsorship packages, creating all that kind of stuff, but tailoring it for for organizations, not-for-profits, charities, and small businesses. So these are some of the options I provided this summer. So it was creating social media products on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and websites. And if the client requested, we also offered paying for their ads so they'll get more amplified views on their posts. And this idea really stemmed from helping organizations during my undergraduate years in Queen's University. And I really learned about this program of Summer Company through Facebook advertising. It just came on my Facebook page one day. I clicked on it. They had a really good, successful social media campaign, and I worked, and I got it, and I applied, and I got in. All great. So that's how I got into this program. But Chateau Designs, I was really inspired on it because during the pandemic, a lot of organizations, not-for-profits, charities, even small businesses, they were hurt so much. And I felt like at times they were not seen as really, really important during the midst of the pandemic, because so many things were going on in last year in 2020. And so it's really hard to give them some light because of how crazy the world was going. And these businesses really rely on the local community to support them. And it's really hard when the local community is stuck at home, can't travel outside, and not-for-profits, charities, and organizations heavily rely on just their in-person events, or their sponsorships from different stores or different big companies. And that's what really garner their revenue. It's not through like they have an income per se normally. So with COVID, everything kind of shut down, and it's a lot of businesses, as you've seen, have shut down, and organizations can't provide the same quality support for their focus or their target group as they would have, because they don't have enough funds or they have the ability to do so. And it's been a really unfortunate situation. And by helping them create social media products and sponsorship packages, that they will help, it could possibly help them to gain some more money, gain some momentum. A lot of organizations, charities, and not-for-profits and small businesses did not have any websites or Instagram handles or Facebook pages. So it's helping them get digitalized is a really big help as well. And I was really lucky that through the summer company program that it covered actually all of my startup costs that I would have needed. So I was able to offer a significantly lower cost to these potential clients very significantly, because the grant covered my software, all the utensils and devices I use to create all the products, and my insurance. So it was great. And my cost was only a fraction of a normal company you'll just Google for social media agencies. So it was really great, because my goal for Chateau Designs was not to charge a really high up number with a not-for-profit or charity or small business, because their goal is to help the community, not to be paying us companies to do marketing their companies. That's my entire goal. So yeah, I'll keep on going. So support for the program, this is how I kind of viewed it from my as a student perspective. So Summer Company kind of have two branches, where workshops and then mentorship sessions. So the workshops, I would say, was mostly once a week, or sometimes it was twice a week, just depends on this timing. And it was sometimes in the mornings, sometimes in the afternoons. And we had a lot of great speakers come out. So we had someone named Holly who talked a lot about marketing and social media. We had another experienced individual talk about insurance and talk about different types of insurance. And this was really useful for me because I didn't know that there was a technology specific insurance plan available. So that was really helpful for me. There's a nice presentation about mental health. We talked about bookkeeping and accounting, which is really important as I, as a student, did not have much awareness about creating an elevator pitch to sell my services, and a lot of brand creation, which is really important for a social media agency like mine. Then the second half, I would say, is mentorship sessions, where I was paired up with Trish. She has her own company. It's about providing the consulting for advice, and she provides leadership support, which is really great, which is what I needed really. And I had 4 one-on-one sessions with Trish. They were really ranged from either 30 minutes to an hour, but it was just depends. We had meetings, I want to say every week or every other week. But it was just good to talk to Trish about some problems I had and some questions I would have, and then she'll provide me with resources. I liked working with Trish, my mentor, because she provided me access to her accountant, to someone on her legal team, and someone, like just a variety of resources, like I mentioned earlier. And it helped me a lot because I had a lot of questions about accounting and finance, and I didn't have much of a background in that, and she was able to provide me those resources. Then we had mastermind sessions, which I would say were once a month. And this is when all the mentors and mentees came together, and it was facilitated by a speaker. And we just talked about different key topics, whether that includes your goals, you're reflecting on how the term ended, or elevator pitches, and there was also good opportunities where we got to meet the other mentors. And each mentor is very unique and diverse because they come from different backgrounds. So they bring a different lens to the question or the situation that you're talking about. And I like that because during these mastermind sessions, they were approximately 90 minutes long. We were put into smaller breakout rooms on Zoom where we were able to, there were 2 mentees and there'll be 3 mentors, and each mentee will have the opportunity to, share their elevator pitch or talk about a current problem they're facing. And I had a really good opportunity where I got someone who was focused in marketing give me their perspective. Another mentor who was really focused on insurance give me their perspective. So I was able to have a variety of perspectives, which really allowed me to create a concrete and fortified solution to the problem that I brought on earlier, which is really great because I had a lot of problems when it came to accounting and setting up a price and stuff such as like that. So key benefits for the mentor. So this is something that Trish wanted me to provide for you all today. So this is a good opportunity for Trish to create an opportunity to foster like the entrepreneurial spirit, where Trish was like more like my cheerleader at times when I had a lot of questions, a lot of doubts about myself, and she was just being a supportive spirit for me. She scheduled all the virtual mentor sessions, and she was the one who would kind of every meeting she'll talk about how is the questions from last time, we're able to solve them and follow up on the last problem so she could in case clear them up again in the next meeting. And then she would always provide avenues for other skill sessions or business training sessions. As I mentioned earlier, she provided so many resources for all my issues I had, and it was great because sometimes it was good to have a good recommendation than just Google something random on the internet as well. And she was also able to provide a lot of, she was working for over 40 years. She has a mix of a corporate experience and her own business experience as well. So I was able to resolve glitches and also boost my personal confidence as well as a mentor, as a mentee, because she just knew so much that I did not know, which was amazing. And then she was also able to provide me a very expansive perspective on my small business, because since she was working with me the entire time, she kind of knew all of the problems, all the situations. And Trish saw me from like the ground level to like a bit of a medium riser right now. So it's great because it's good that I have the same mentor. So she's seeing my growth, which is amazing. And then she as mentioned earlier, she helped me to perceive and remove my barriers I've had, doubts, hesitancies, and assumptions. And echoing this again, but it was a lot about taxes and financing and a lot about that kind of stuff. And she also attended the mastermind circles, as I mentioned earlier, where she was able to support other mentees in the small breakout sessions as well and provide advice from her lens and her perspectives. And it was really great on that experience as well. So she was a good support system for me overall. And it was great because Trish also mentioned how she connected with the other mentors in the group and how that was a good experience for her and how she led the other mentors during the mastermind sessions as well. So it's a good opportunity for mentors to network in as well, but it's a good opportunity for mentors, and like she's so experienced, to help, as she was, the next generation come forward in the entrepreneurial world. So which was great because she just wants us youth to become like entrepreneurial superstars, because a lot of skills that need to be developed, and she has a lot of them that could really help youth such as myself. So mentors' final thoughts is, I just echoed it here already. So basically it's that sharing opportunity with others to build a culture of entrepreneurship with young students. She just loved that. And then she always wants me and other students to just rise up in entrepreneurship. And it's just helping them to get energy, helping us youth to become energized and confident in creating a small business. And Trish always echoed that this is a great generation and a great time to be able to create a business on your own, but it is very tricky. And Trish loved providing all those resources to me to make it less tricky for me as well. And there's so many opportunities, especially creating a social media agency at this time where there's so much like tech opportunities. Tech is rising. It's very important that we digitize everything. And Trish and I always talk about how the federal government's actually releasing $4 billion to digitize small businesses. It's part of their budget 2021. And that is something Trish has encouraged me to look into in more detail, because small business will be applying for those grants, and I could be the person to helping to digitize their businesses, because it's really important to digitize your business in the remote COVID world still to date. And the future. So my future is Chateau Design. So it doesn't end today. It doesn't end here. This is our last week in summer company. So I'm going to be actually working on a part-time during graduate school. I was very fortunate. I was talking to Trish that before I even launched my business through word of mouth marketing, I actually got 2 clients full-time during the summer. So I actually didn't even launch my business until like 2 weeks ago, because I was actually working on products for my clients. So it was really cool of an experience. And Trish, actually, my mentor, actually encouraged me to do that. She advised to not launch your business, because these were good clients who were like my guinea pigs of my businesses. So I tried all my onboarding process with them. I asked more questions. It was a good experience. So I was able to create a better start to my business if I didn't have those clients beforehand, which was great. So I'll be working on clients, probably not 2 at a time, because that's very time consuming, probably 1 at a time with graduate school. But that's gonna be a next process. And Trish and I have been working really well together. And she's been helping me a lot on how I could possibly expand my business to Ottawa Center as well, because my graduate school will be there as well. So even though I started 4 months ago, Trish has been like my cheerleader to help me expand already 4 months into my company, which is great, because they'll be great ones to do that as well. And some things I've learned from my business in the company itself is very crazy things like writing contracts and invoices. I never read, I signed so many contracts before, like phone plans and school stuff, but I've never read the fine print of any single, like it's so tiny, like no one reads that. You assume it's jargon, but this time I actually did have to read all the contracts. I felt like, as Vivian was saying, like I felt like I was signing my life off to like when signing those extensive amount of contracts. I did read every single word that was written in those contracts, but at the same time, I also wrote contracts for my own companies. When I had to onboard a client, I had to like make sure that client and myself were on the same page, because it's so easy, especially in the virtual world, to have miscommunications and misunderstandings when creating a product and stuff like that. So I had to make sure that we're on the same page, and a contract was that legal document that binded both of us together. And creating invoices, I never really created an invoice myself, so I had to create that on my own. But Trish was really helpful, and Trish actually had a contract that was lying in her Google Drive that she just gave to me as well. So it was so easy for me to create a contract, but just reading every single word of a contract that you're issuing is also not the fun task, but I had to learn it for eventual reasons. Manage financial assets was really important because as Vivian said, we had to forecast and budget how much of the $1,500 we will be using. It's very hard to expect a lot of that as well, because and expenses and revenue, it's all really tricky, because I realized in this experience how American a lot of programs and softwares are. So sometimes I'll give Vivian the amount in numbers, but I'll keep forgetting that I have to convert it from USD to Canadian dollars. And that's a huge difference for us. And that was an issue I really faced. And it's just crazy. Even though I'm on google.ca, a lot of the dollar amounts are in USD. And that was something I had to always look for each time. Create elevator pitches. I never really sold a business before or sold my services to anyone. So that was really great to create an elevator pitch. Creating social media ads. I always did it for different organizations and stuff like that, but I never did it professionally. I just did it for like fun on Canva, but using more elevated and more advanced software such as Adobe Photoshop, InDesign, Premiere Pro, and After Effects really strengthen my own caliber, and sell my services via a variety of platforms. That was my goal, was to launch an Instagram page, a Facebook page, and a website. The website has been launched, but the others are on the way. It's because I was very lucky enough to have clients way before I even wanted to launch. I don't know, they just found me through word of mouth marketing through my parents. So it was really great for my parents on that sense. And handle customer conflict. I never really had a customer conflict really, but when it came to like making sure that the customer and I were on the same page, I felt was the biggest worry for me. And that was a conflict for myself internally, because I don't want to put a lot of time into creating products that they didn't think was the same. So how do I override customer conflict? And then Trish advised me to have multiple review sessions with the clients, or to have just check-ins with them, or help them, and maybe like let them draw on a piece of paper what they envision, and that'll be a guiding light for me. So that was something really important. And then conquer time management. Something I learned in this experience is that as one person, an entrepreneur, you're wearing, I would say, like a minimum of 10 different hats in this role. And there's only 7 days a week, and there's only 24 hours in a day. So there's not a lot of time you have really to do all those hats. And we're doing accounting, we're doing bookkeeping, creating the products, client relations, learning, professional development. So there's so many hats that we wear, and it's very busy, and it's conquered time management, but I liked it. I also liked how I didn't need to have a 9 to 5 scheduling. I took Wednesdays off randomly at some times, but I would work on a lovely Saturday morning. So it was really great because I just got to be flexible. I found myself more productive on the weekends than the weekdays. So I worked more on the weekends instead. So that was really fun. And yeah, I just loved did not like the 9 to 5 lifestyle. I liked having just picking my own hours, which is, I guess, the perk of being an entrepreneur. And these skills will really help me expand my business in the future. I'm really excited because I now have a really good grasp of how to continue my business forward in graduate school. So as I mentioned, I want to expand to Ottawa because that's where I'll be in for the next 2 years. I'm not in King City. I will be also focusing on focusing on the business, where I'm focusing on how to improve my client relations and how to make my brand more appealing. And I'm always still in contact with Trish, even after our time at summer company is over. We are still in touch, and we are just like checking on, like giving her some updates. She's been so excited to see all of my future advances in this business because she's seen it from like the ground level. So she just wants to see me rising. So that's kind of where the future lies. And I'm hoping to take this business forward. Fun fact about myself is that I just Also do have a Bachelor of Education degree as well from Queen's University. So I'm hoping to use the LinkedIn platform to educate others on interest in social media and how to do certain skills in Adobe, Photoshop, Illustrator, LinkedIn, Canva and Word and stuff like that, because that's another way to market yourself, is to educate others on how to do that. And very fortunate to have a Bachelor of Education degree to gear me in that space as well. So that's something in the future hopefully lies for me. But I think that's about it for myself. And I'm happy to take any questions as we have roughly 20 minutes left. Teresa?
What's your company's name?
Chateau Designs.
Oh, right. I heard it at the beginning and then I forgot.
I could put the link in the chat for you. We just launched the website like a couple of days ago. So I'll put in the chat link.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I'm a member of the Etobicoke Rotary Club, and they work with a lot of nonprofits. So I would be happy to share that with them as well. Mm-hmm. And is the Trish you're talking about, Trish McGuire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't know that. Yeah. She's a board member. Yeah. Maybe I missed that in the beginning too. I don't know where I was.
Yes, Trish was introduced to us through Helen. So thank you, Helen, for doing that.
Oh, she was excited to help out.
Yes. So we had a great experience. So just to put it out there, if anyone's interested, always looking for mentors, just because it really depends on some of the programming and scheduling. So it may not fit for everybody. So that's why we're always looking. And it's a great way to give back as well. And Summer Company is just one of them. We also run Starter Company Plus, where we're always looking for mentors as well. Again, it's always hard to find somebody willing to give their time. So anything is appreciated. And I think Jathorsan just shared his website there. So if anyone's interested, take a look. So.
Yep. And my business email is there as well. So if you want to ask me more questions, specifics, contact me whenever. I live on my email. So I'll respond as soon as I can.
Does anybody
That
else
was
have any
good. Very
questions?
interesting. It's very thorough.
Yes. So would
Yeah,
you
I'd like to say
recommend?
good morning. I'd like to say good morning to everyone as well. It was very informative. Thank you, Vivian, and thank you for your presentation and your insight on starting a new business. And it was nice to see that Trish was able to help you. She's great at doing a lot of things. So it was nice to see that. And yeah, it was good. I'm glad I was able to get on this morning. I wasn't sure. I do have to run to another Zoom meeting like everyone else, right? We all have to, now the technology's right beside us these days. We have to be there earlier and do a lot more things. So it's really good. And your insight was great. I hope a lot of our members and future members, I'll have to pass that on to some of my older grandkids and see if they can utilize some of those programs. Sure, mentoring is really great. It's a good thing. I mean, we all have parents, or I did. I have parents who were mentoring me in our business and so forth. And it's so important to have mentors and have people working alongside with you. And I've used a similar program with the business, the Federal Business Bank. I've used them in the past. BCI, it used to be called, or BSI, whatever they're called now. But I used them many, many years ago, and they were very helpful as well. And they had a lot of people there that you can sort of rely on to help you through things. It's a great program, Vivian. I think you guys should give yourself a pat in the back for that. That's for sure, especially to help young entrepreneurs get through the ropes, because things are hard enough, as we all know, in business.
Oh,
You always
yeah,
get your
for
ups and downs. Always get your ups and downs. So the thing is to come up the other side, which I think you have a good attitude towards. It's great to hear that. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us again, and thanks, Helen, for organizing that. That was great.
So just so everyone knows, typically we recruit for summer company, I believe, in January of that year for that summer. So I just want to let anyone know. So typically we put it in our newsletter. If anything, Helen, I can let you know when we do the recruiting, just so you can put it out there, just in case anyone within the network know any youth as part of the chamber, just to let them know. Because I find that sometimes a lot of the kids find out through parents, even though we do social media. Thank goodness we have some great social media individuals through our group, and Jathorsan found us through that way. But as always, we found that a lot of our programming is through word of mouth. So when we do recruit, I'll let you guys know, and just let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer them as well. Yeah, so, and like I said, programming is just a small part of what we do. We also offer other services, and a lot of programmings do come and go. I know a lot of people who I've spoken to many years ago, they no longer have it anymore. We're part of the Ontario self-employment benefit programs as well. So I mean, like, there's definitely a lot of programming. They come and go. That's the other thing too. And when we do have those programming, we try to push it out. As you are aware, we were running the Northern York Region Professional Service Access Program as well. So that's still available right now to the end of the summer. So if anyone's interested, let me know. Happy to speak with you and do those referrals as well. But yeah, so we're always here, always happy to help if need be. I know COVID has been a weird time for many, and we're all working virtually, but we are available by phone or email, although we're not able to meet in person just yet.
I had a question, the mentoring.
Yes.
Do you only use that in this particular program, or do you use it in other areas?
We look for mentorings in more of the programs that we deliver through the province, just because a lot of them do come with that mentoring component. So we do look for mentors through our summer company. We're always looking for mentors for there. And then we're also looking for mentors for Starter Company Plus, the one that Darlene was speaking to a couple weeks ago. I found that it's a little harder to find mentors for Starter Company Plus because it's the peer-to-peer mentoring. Some people are not really open to it. I mean, like, there's a number of factors. It could be timing, scheduling as well, because both may be working and the timing just doesn't fit, type of thing like that. But we're always looking for mentors, and those who do, volunteer and become a mentor for either programs. We've always had great testimonials and experience through that. So I rarely have anyone who come back and say, no, it's not a fit. But again, I also find it's clicking too. Certain people click a certain way. I always tell people that, you make friends with certain people because you click, right, with others too. But rarely have I had anyone who came back and said, it was not working out. But it's always great to have more mentors, just because sometimes we have individuals looking for certain experience, backgrounds. It is always great if we can match somebody in a similar industry or with similar backgrounds or whatnot. I try to do that. In this case, actually, I matched Jathorsan and Trish because they were both from the King area, and Trish really wanted to work with somebody in post-secondary as well. So keeping things like little things in mind, I try to match it that way, just similarities, backgrounds, or even same community. I find that it's very helpful. And in this case, it really, really worked out, because then there's some commonality as well to talk about. So we're always looking for mentors, like I said, just because, again, try to match people based on background, experience, a number of different factors. You may find it's a little bit more flexible as well, just because a lot of the one-on-one is, based on scheduling. So there's a lot of flexibility. Just, I do want to put it out there, and being a mentor. So there's, for summer company, our only set schedule for the mentors was those group mentoring sessions, the mastermind circles that Jathorsan mentioned about. And then outside of that, it was very, very flexible. As you know, I told them it's up to 4 hours and you schedule it based on what works for you guys. So there's a lot of flexibility in that way, just because I understand that, you know, as a small business owner, you know, you're busy, you're running your business, you have your home life, your family life, and then you have your business. And then if you have staff, that's a whole other level too. So just keeping those things in mind, there's a lot of flexibility in that, in terms of that time frame. Yes.
Teresa?
I was just going to ask what the time commitment, like how many months are you doing this for, the mentoring?
So for summer company, it was 2 or 3 months, depending on the student, because Jathorsan is a post-secondary student. So he was in the program for 3 months, and then high school students are 2 months. So I would say 2 to 3 months, depending on the student, but that's usually the time frame I try to start. And we run our trainings early anyway, so the training would run for like a 3-month student. Most students would experience 3 months, even if they're in high school, but the high school students really run their business for the 2 months in the summer, so mainly July and August. But we do run it from June, July, August for summer company. And then for starter company plus, it's usually about 3 months. For that one is about an hour once a month for 3 months. So that's typically for starter company plus. If we have an existing business going through the program, then maybe a little bit more, if they go through an existing stream with a business plan and everything like that. So that may be a little
different times of the year, depending on when the person is going through the starter company plus.
For starter company, yeah, it will be different times of the year. But I usually reach out, to different businesses and, different mentors and say, I keep a roster of mentors, and then, I would reach out and, I think I have somebody, maybe a good match. Would you be interested? I've had people who came back to me and said, no, not now, or sure. It depends, right? Depending on when I reach out. So I mean, like sometimes I catch them in the holidays. I got a few who said, I love to, for summer company, for example, but I'm trying to take the summer off. I've had other people who went like, yeah, not a problem. It's flexible, so I'll do it. And then I think starter company sometimes I think a little bit overlaps into the holidays. So I may have people say yes or no, or yes, but later, and the timing type of thing like that. Just because with that programming, we do run it different timing of the year. Versus summer, which is pretty much set, right? So summer company, I would say pretty much June to August. Is usually the time commitment. Starter company plus, it's once a month for 3 months, but it varies. So just to put it out there, so if there's any interest, again, it's very flexible because it's up to, for that one's up to 3 hours, this one's up to 4 hours. But with that being said, I always tell people you don't have to feel that each meeting has to be an hour. If you want to break it up shorter, and I suggested that as well. So if you want to do, shorter meetings, so instead of 3 meetings of an hour each, you can always do, 6 meetings of 30 minutes each, right? I mean, more often, but shorter. You may find it more productive. It depends. I leave that very open. So, because again, it depends on the mentor and mentee and the conversation and how that goes as well. Because I think Jathorsan, you varied with Trish, right? With yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good example there, but I kind of leave that up to them just because I'm not there, and the relationship is really mainly between them. And it really depends on, how one individual, a mentee absorbs information as well and try to apply things. Cause you may want to set smaller goals or bigger goals, depends. So some people want to meet more often just so it keeps them accountable. Some people are like, no, I'm good. Let's meet next month, type of thing like that. So again, it varies. It's very open too. So I want to put it out there just to let everyone know in regards to that.
Most of them are about a 3-month commitment, and then you figure out how to do it in the middle of that. I see.
Exactly. So, and then I touch base to make sure that everything is completed, and it's tracked. So in Jathorsan's case, he has an online platform because the province provides all of that for summer company, and then he put in all his activity log, hours, everything's in there. So there's nothing extra. For starter company plus, there is a form I asked them to fill out, and then they just submit that. It's really brief. It's just like when you met, the date, and then just like a couple lines of what was, spoken about or discussed about in their meetings, just so we have that as a record to say, yes, that was completed, that's done, type of thing like that. And it's just to hold somebody responsible, the participant mainly in the program, to make sure that they completed everything to complete the program, because we need all of that in order to say, yes, they completed the program, and then we can disperse the final disbursement, because there's always, all the grants aren't dispersed all at once. As I mentioned, so for instance, Summer Company case, it's half and half. Same thing with Starter Company Plus. It's a good portion of it in the beginning, and then there's a final disbursement of $1,500 as well too. So that way we hold people responsible to ensure that they do complete the program. So it helps a lot too.
I'm sorry, I'm going to say goodbye. I have to go to this other meeting. They're calling me. So thank you very much, everyone. It was great being on here, and we'll talk to you next time. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks,
Sorry,
Angela.
Sorry, I have to
Bye,
leave.
Angela.
No worries.
I was going to say that my husband did that self-employment course 25 or 30 years ago, and he's still in the same business, a different, it was his own business, and now he's in a different one, but that really helped him. And he met some other people in some of those groups that they probably had at that time, that he still deals with and is friends with. So, and interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I said programming's come and go. And that was a really great one that they ended in 2015. I was shocked when they pulled the plug on that one. But the thing is, like, programming like this is great because you're able to network, you're able to meet with different people. And then there's also that support and hand holding as well. Like, it's always great if a programming offers a grant component. I know a lot of people reach out for grants and stuff like that, but unfortunately not every program has that. But I think it's also important to convey and let people know and put it out there, is that a lot of these programs don't require you to pay for anything. So you get all the support for free. Had you have to go out there to hire a consultant to assist you with your business plan or marketing or whatnot, type of thing like that, there's a cost to that, obviously, right? So I just want to put it out there, is that despite all of that, like, if there's programming with, no financial, no grant or anything like that, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You still get that free support. So that's why I said we have that professional service access program. It's free. Take advantage of it. We're still running it right now, for example. There's other programs within our network that we always promote through our newsletter as well. So women entrepreneurs, there's Ella that we partner with York University. So that's another great one as well. So I always tell people, take advantage of that. So there's others in the ecosystem as well that we try to put out there. And there's even one that are specific to industry as well too, right? So definitely be open, keep an eye out, ask if anything, or just check our website or newsletter, for example. We always try to push that out. Because we try not to duplicate what's in the ecosystem as well. We try to support each other and share that information. So you'll see a lot of that as well. So, and just taking advantage of it, and you'll see that we always have our hands in something too, just to support or partner, or sometimes we're involved with a workshop or whatnot, type of thing like that as well.
It's getting close to 10 o'clock, and I know you have another meeting that you have to go to. So I'd like to thank you both for joining us, and it was great information. It was great hearing how well you've been doing in your new business. And Yvonne, thank you as always. It was a wonderful topic. So thank you.
No problem. Thanks, Helen, for having us. Jathorsan, great job there. And if anyone needs anything, please feel free to reach out. I think I have my contact information sent out anyway, but Helen, I'll send you my slides, and then I'll arrange with Jathorsan to send his slides to you, just in case anyone wants to, who weren't able to join us today, are able to see that.